Hi everyone, this is Adrian at 18 Echo SF. I decided to make kind of a comprehensive video on the three current 1911s that I own, and one of which is my wife's, but they're in our household, so I say that I own. Anyway, this video is kind of prompted by an email that I got this morning from a new subscriber to my channel, which kind of blows me away every time I get a new subscriber. Over the past couple of months, I've picked up a few here and there, and I'm always surprised when it happens because I go, how did they ever find my videos? So, but I thank anybody who subscribes to my channel. That's very nice. I don't make that many videos, and I have limited handguns, as I've explained before, and I will later in this video too. But the guy that got in touch with me had a question about my, he saw one of my Kimber Pro Carry videos, and he had a question about whether or not, he was thinking of buying one, and he has a question about whether or not there were like two different models, because one of the ones that he said he thought he saw, the grip looked smaller. I'm assuming he meant shorter. And so I sent him a message back this morning explaining that there really is only one Pro Carry, comes in stainless or black, but there is a compact carry too, and I believe that that's what he probably saw, because they're listed on the same page on the Kimber website, and that gun does have a slightly shortened grip to make it a little bit less printable when you're carrying. But other than that, the guns are exactly the same, 4-inch, pistols. Anyway, but I have a number of videos out there, as any of you that have seen my previous ones know. They were all, for the most part, individual videos on each of the guns. But I just thought I'd make a comprehensive video explaining why I have each of them, and what changes have been made to them, and what I'm planning to do on two of the pistols, my Colt and the Pro Carry. So anyway, but I'll explain my wife's pistol first. This is a Kimber Stainless Target 2. Originally it had target sights, which were a bit hard on her hands. They were very sharp along the edges, as almost all target sights are, and so I changed those out. These are Dick Heinie sights, and they're blacked out front and rear, which she preferred. I had her shoot handguns with night sights, white sights, and black, and she actually prefers a blacked out sight, as do I actually, with one exception on the front sight, which I'll explain later. Anyway, these guns have all been cleared, safety check, but just in case, safety's on, and no rounds, of course. So this is a full 5-inch gun. My wife, when she decided to learn to shoot, I took her to the range. She fired a number of weapons, some of the modern polymer guns, but she fell in love with the feel of the 1911 and how it fit her hand, and she liked the 5-inch gun. And this is an all-steel gun, which she shoots it very, very well for someone who doesn't have 20 years of shooting under her belt. So it's just a beautiful pistol all around. She wanted a set of laser grips for it, so these are Crimson Trace laser grips, as you can see, and laser being right here. And when she goes to the range to practice, not to train, well, even when she trains too, the laser is turned off. The laser is there mostly for our home use, and it is always on when it's in her night table next to our bed. So, but when she practices, she doesn't normally have this on. Every so often she'll turn it on just to kind of get a feel for where that laser is going to hit versus where the round is. So anyway, but this is a beautiful gun, not inexpensive. It's This is in 9mm, by the way. There are very few full-frame 1911 9mm handguns being made, and the ones that are very difficult to get. Originally, we ordered a Springfield, but there was a 1-year wait on that pistol, and I didn't want her to lose her interest, so the dealer that I buy my guns from normally is a Kimber master dealer, and he was able to get hold of one almost instantly. So we bought that gun, and again, not inexpensive. This gun was like $1,100, close to somewhere around there, when she bought it. And it's about 2 to 3 years old now. So a beautiful gun, easy to press check. It fires beautifully and is really a tack driver when it comes to shooting. So with hollow points or ball ammunition. So that's the Kimber Stainless Target 2. Try to keep these in focus here. This is my current Kimber Pro Carry. It's a stainless model, aluminum frame, by the way. Safety check for anybody. I did a previous video on this where about me changing out the guide rod and going back to the original full-length guide rod. And you'll notice, you know, there's no full-length guide rod in here. This is a, I'm not going to tear it down right now, but this has a GI guide rod from Wilson Combat. And I actually prefer having that guide rod so that I don't have to mess around with a little, you know, pin to hold the slide back when, you know, when it's when you're tearing it down. You know, I can just pull this right back to the notch and take this out and tear this thing down very easy. And it's no less accurate, you know. And the amount that we give up and what that small full-length guide rod in this gun weighs versus having the short one is pretty negligible in my opinion. So, and it's deadly accurate, so I see no disadvantage. Originally, I thought it was getting a little bit of wear in the hood of the dust cover in the frame, but after having it changed out now for quite a long time and putting quite a number of rounds through this pistol, it's nothing that's out of the ordinary at all. So I stay with the short guide rods in my guns. Some of you may know I had to have my thumb amputated and half of my shooting hand thumb, which made using extended, let me set this down, using extended or even slightly longer thumb safety is a bit of a problem, because where that safety rests relative to where my thumb had to be amputated, even 2+ years later, is still very, very sensitive. So I wanted on my guns, I wanted a safety that was shorter. So Kimber makes a pistol in their line called the Aegis, which is strictly a 9mm gun in a couple different configurations. And I noticed that the safety on that gun was shortened and bobbed. So I contacted Kimber, oh God, it's been last year or so, and originally I was told by the people in New York they couldn't sell it to me. It comes out of the custom shop and they didn't have a part number for it, and it really sounded like a load of crap to me, but there was nothing I could do. However, a couple of months went by and I decided to try again, and this time when I called, somehow I got put into their office in Montana, and I came upon a really great guy who works there, I explained the situation about my thumb. He took mercy on me, did some instant research and found the part number for that Aegis safety, and placed an order for me, and I installed it on this gun, and you may be able to see that where it rests on my thumb, you know, is much shorter, you know, so that when I need to, you know, flick the safety on or take it off, it's much easier for me to get to with, you know, less of any painful issues on my thumb. So anyway, So this gun has replaced the compressed full-length guide rod with the shortened GI-style guide rod and the stock spring that comes with this particular full-length guide rod. I just took it apart and used that stock spring, and when I replaced the springs, I used the same ones. I also put on a set of VZ ETC grips. I love these grips. There's just enough purchase here to make it really rock solid in your hand so that your hand will not move under recoil. I like them so much I have a set on my Colt, which you'll see in a minute too. So the only other modification we're going to make to this gun, the plastic mainspring housing I don't care about that too much. I don't really see the issue. But the one thing that I am going to do, I am going to change out the sights on this gun. They are blacked out. However, for me, at my age, it's getting much more difficult to keep that front sight in focus. As a matter of fact, it's never in focus. So all I care about now is not shooting tight groups, but keeping the groups in the dead center of something that I'm hitting. Whether or not they're 1.5 inch groups, 2 inch groups, 5 inch groups, I don't really care. As long as it hits the target in the center. And if I can hit them enough time and knock them down, that's good enough for me. I have a good friend of mine who is a former Special Forces commander of 10th Special Forces Group, and he was an FBI SWAT instructor, and he's a shooter big time. And I mentioned to him one time how my groups are not tight anymore, and he just said to me, Adrian, he said, you only have to ask yourself 3 questions. Did you hit him? Did he go down? And did he not get up? And if you can answer yes to all 3 of those, then the hell with the tight groups. So that's kind of the attitude I take. Anyway, this is a beautiful handgun. It's, again, aluminum frame, steel slide, 4-inch slide and barrel. I am a lover of Commander length 1911s. My entire military career, of course, I used full 5-inch guns, but for me, I like how quickly they come up on target. They're no less accurate for sure at fighting distances. Maybe the 5-inch gun will be slightly more accurate, at 100 yards or 200 yards, but I'm not shooting at those distances, and I pretty much care about how accurate I can be 25 yards in, and particularly at the 5, 7, and 10 marks. So for me, this gun is really very, very accurate, and I love Kimber guns. I hear people talk about some of the issues they maybe have had with some of the Kimbers. I had a couple issues with my first 2 guns. I think I've had 4 now, and in my first 2 guns, I think I had some issues with extraction or ejector issues, and I had to send it back. But they never had to go back twice. Now, someone might complain about that and say, with $1,000 guns, you shouldn't have that issue from day one. But anything that's manufactured can have an issue, and all I care about is to get it fixed and get it back in the game. Also, I don't collect guns, as some of you also know. The guns that I have are for personal defensive use. I heard a statement one time that someone said, beware of the man with one gun because he probably knows how to shoot it. I'm kind of in that arena. I don't think there's anything wrong with collecting guns. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably a nice hobby. But I don't buy handguns for that purpose. I'm not going to buy guns and put them in a safe and leave them there for me to look at and ooh and ah. Every gun that I have, I shoot. I know they probably look real nice. Hopefully they do. I take care of them. I clean my guns every time I shoot them. It gives me something to do in my aging years now that I'm retired. So I love spending time in the garage and tearing the guns down and just keeping them, lubed and active. So anyway, what I've done over the past and the guns that I've had, I think I said I've had 4 of these, but I'll sell one off to a friend to come up with some additional, money to buy another one or a different style, or to go from black to stainless. And, it's kind of my game. But I love the Kimber handguns. They're extremely well made. And I personally have never had any major problems. And, I will defend my life with this, So anyway, that's the Kimber. As I said, my military career, I was issued, and by choice, because of the unit that I was in, I was allowed to choose a variety of handguns. But I chose the 1911. It's something, the platform that I'm most comfortable with. In the dead of the night, I know when I pick the gun up, set safety's coming off, and it's not a problem for me. I'm never going to forget to take it off. It's kind of a a trained, inbred thing now. I've had other handguns and I like them. Had a Springfield Xd, which was a fabulous pistol. I had that gun right after my operation on my thumb because shooting the 45 was the extra recoil was bothering my hand a bit. So I started shooting 9mm handguns, and plastic ones, to make it. My hand was in a cast for a bit. So to make it a little bit easier until I got back up to speed again with my 45s. As I told you, my wife's Kimber is a 9mm, but I shoot 45 caliber handguns. Just always have, and I love them. Nothing wrong with 9mm. I love that too, but for me, I'm just comfortable with the bigger bullet. Anyway, I have no idea why it took me so long to get a Colt. You'd think I would have gone immediately out and bought one when I went back buying 1911s, but for some reason I didn't. But I finally decided when I switched over to commander length handguns that I was definitely going to buy a Colt Combat Commander, an all steel gun. I love the all steel gun. It just comes out of recoil back onto target a bit quicker than an aluminum frame gun. You can practice yourself to bring that thing back down onto target, but I just love this particular pistol. And I did a couple other videos on this gun, and whoops, I'll turn it this way so you can see as well. This also has VZ grips on it, the ETC model, which I love. Nothing else has been changed out on this gun yet. However, the slide is going to be sent back to either Novak or Wilson. I'm going to have it cut for Novak style sights because this is a staked front sight, and the rear sight, while removable, it won't allow a Novak style sight to slip into that slot. So I'm going to have the slots cut for Novak style sights because I am planning on putting excess big dot sights on here, as I said on the my Kimber as well. My eyes are to the point now where the front sight is out of focus completely. I can still put it on target, and as I explained, get the rounds in the center. But it would be nice to be able to see the sight a bit better. So that's what my plan is for this gun for this year. The slide will be sent either, as I said, either to Novak or Wilson Combat. I think I want to send it to Novak though, and have them do the job. Since they're a sight company and that's kind of what they do. I've already spoken to them about that. This gun has also, it has the standard safety, which is great for me. Most people want an extended safety, but for me, I need that shortened one because of my thumb. So it just really worked well. So it's something that I just don't even have to think about changing out. So those are the three 1911s that I currently own. And if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them. My next purchase, as I said, is going to be a 5-inch 1911, more than likely a Colt. However, I live in California, and here it's you know, we don't have a choice about which models we can buy. There is an approved handgun list, and the only guns you can buy here in this state have to be on that list. We are in the midst of a terrible time here in California. The legislature in this state is a supermajority of liberal Democrats, and they can literally just about get through any laws that they want, and the only way to overcome that is to hope that the liberal Democrat governor here, Jerry Brown, will, who is a gun owner, might not sign the bills. But whether the bills come out of the committees and the assembly to get to his desk is a bit of an issue, and currently we are really under siege here. You know, I believe strongly in our Second Amendment rights and the right to defend our lives of ourselves and our family, and I have made a personal decision. I won't buy any more guns here in this state until I leave, and my wife and I are definitely going to move out of the state of California, strictly because of the laws that are now coming into play. There is a chance people here in this state may actually have to even give up guns, period. New law that is on the governor's desk right now has to do with rifles. Then no semi-automatic rifles will be legal in the state of California if he signs this bill. It's very, very bad. And as I said, you know, I believe in my Second Amendment rights. I fought for our country. I helped to protect and defend, and I bled for our country, and I don't want that to go to waste, particularly when it comes to you know, protecting the rights that were given to us by our forefathers. And I, like most of you, I'm sure, feel strongly about that, and I don't want to see that go away. You know, I've made the decision that I won't stay here in the state of California and fight for those rights. I will leave this state and take my money with me and my guns and go somewhere that is more free. I know not everyone will agree with that, but it's the decision that I've made. I want to live out the rest of my life in freedom for however long that is. You know, I'm 68 years old now, and you know, you like to think, well, you're in the last third of your life, so if I'm lucky. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm sorry for the rant on our rights, but it's kind of how I feel. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I kind of just tried to make a comprehensive video on the 3 1911s that I currently own, and if I buy a fourth, I'll surely make a video on that one. And it would, as I said, it'll be eventually a 5-inch gun, but it'll probably be made out of the state of California. So while I'm here, I'll maybe do some other videos on, you know, some other things. So I hope you enjoyed this, and stay well and safe out there, folks.